Now it's time for the comedy stylings of Colton Din. A round of applause everyone for Colton Din.
So that's my impression of an opera guy. I've been working on that for my whole life. Some might say it's not actually an impression, it's just who I am. Now, I might not look super duper confident, but I have my notes because this is my first time. I have an excuse to not have these memorized because I wrote most of them on the way here because we threw out most of the jokes because they weren't, turns out they weren't actually funny, so I hope these are. Yeah, so might not actually look super duper confident. I got my hoodie and my slacky jeans, but it's actually for my own safety. You guys know Chinook Mall is super crazy busy. I was there on a day and it was just crazy crowded, escalators, you know, piled up to the ceilings. You just couldn't move anywhere. So I'm on the second floor and I think, heck, I'll just vault it. I'll just vault down. Seemed like a good idea, right? Until I got to the railing and I was like, I would have died. Like, I would have looked dashing while I hit the ground, but like, I seriously thought that for like a moment. That's scary. Like confidence is dangerous. You know, like, you think you could do something. I was wearing a suit that day. Just make me more confident. Yeah. I messed up the joke. I messed it up. In getting ready for this, I realized you've been walking up, you know, you ever have that time where you tell a joke and you really think it's going to be a killer and there's a bunch of people around and you're the only one laughing at your own joke?
Kyle?
That happens to me basically every day, which really in retrospect should have been a good indicator that I should not do stand-up comedy, which I realized as I came up the stage. So, sorry. Yeah.
You're doing great.
Yeah. I mean, it is my first time, but I do want to assure you, put your nerves at ease, that I have no idea what I'm doing. So, I hope it goes well, but in the off chance that it's just me and my mom who think I'm funny, April Fools! Suckers. But I mean, moms always tell their kids that they are the best. They want them to feel good about themselves, so they tell them that they're handsome and special, even though it might not be true. It might be a straight-up lie. But you know, moms tell that to their kids, even if it's not true. Except for me, because that is actually true. I am actually special and handsome. Yeah. You know how I know? My mom told me. It's legit. She wouldn't lie. But I mean, my mom's not the only one who, you know, tells me that I'm special. I've actually found shopping to be rather life-affirming lately. I went into a store and I was just paying for a pair of jeans and, you know, put my debit card in and the lady was like, "Oh, good news, you're approved." Finally. Sweet. Approval I've been looking for. Space. So I'm now a Shopaholic. Approval's just so good. Can't get enough of that until you get declined. Although I did actually once break a debit machine just by paying for my meal at a pub, which was you know, a little bit embarrassing because I thought I'd lighten things up with a joke. So I turned to the waitress and said, "Debit Tender. My debit is anything but tender." Right? You'll get that on the way home if you didn't. It's good. It's a good one. That's my favorite. All right, for the sake of this joke, let's say I bought a phone from Best Buy Mobile. Just for the sake of this. And I don't know. I think this is the best analogy I have for them. Best Buy Mobile is basically like the mafia, and I will explain. I will explain actually, because every month they have this extra charge on your bill. Even though they're not the cell service provider, they just sell the hardware. There's just this extra little charge on the bottom for Best Buy Mobile. You know, it's kind of like in the movies. The mafia walks up and they're like, "Hey there, I see you got a great credit score. I hate to see something bad happen to that. So you just pay us a little bit of a protection fee, and we'll just make sure your credit stays nice and healthy." Yeah, just like pretty sketchy. You know, I just imagine they come up to me on the road and just be like, "Hey, good looking. I see that your contract's almost up. You got about 6 months. You want to renew your contract? You want a new phone? What you got there?" For the sake of this joke, let's say that I have a Samsung Galaxy and not an iPhone, because you can clearly see that it's an iPhone. So you got a Samsung Galaxy there. Actually got something better for you here. It's called the Samsung Universe. It's constantly expanding. Science joke. Go home and Google it. Yeah, also for the sake of this joke, let's say that I can do a perfect Italian New Yorker accent. It's totally good. All right, a couple of one-liners here just to, you know, sort of smooth it over in case those first ones were terrible. There's a couple of thinkers in here. When you smell a fart, are you actually smelling the past? Don't take my word for it. No, I'm not going to do that joke. That's actually not funny.
No, do it. Do it.
I thought it was funny.
One chance.
Do it. All right. You're going to... I once saw a bear chasing its own shadow. I told you, it's not funny! It's not funny! I told you! Why would you do this? I'll try to tell you. Peer pressure, it's not good. It's not good. Hang on, I got another debit joke. I know, right? The last one was good. It was good.
When they asked you to do this?
Yes. It's dangerous. Confidence. I'd rather just be not confident and not get into trouble. Yeah. I get into trouble anyways. All right. Debit joke. Debit Tender. The debit that treats you right. No?
Okay. All right.
It might be dark, but I can see your eyes rolling. Okay. All right. Now one more joke. All right. I was looking for a place to eat, and recently came across a place called the Bellagio. Looked like a pretty fancy Italian restaurant. People sitting at tables seeming to enjoy themselves. So I walked in, and immediately, it's not a restaurant. It's a nail salon. Which let me explain this. I mean, it makes the sign make a lot more sense, because I thought Bellagio Nail, that's just, I don't know, maybe that's Italian or something? No, it's just Bellagio nail. But I mean, you know, there was people sitting at tables getting their nails done, you know, just like any other restaurant, so you can see why I got confused, right? No, but man, that was a bad joke to end with. Dang. Hang on, okay, I got one last one. I think this might actually be a decent ending. Okay. Don't you guys just hate it when you wake up in the middle of the night and think that there are rabid squirrels in your bed? Right? Like you run out of the room and you feel so accomplished because you escaped the squirrels. Right?
Right?
You guys don't know right? Yeah, that's not just happened to me. No. Dang, that was not a good one to end with. Sad part is that actually happened last week. It's not a joke, that's just scary.